the grand old lady di Miri, Sarawak. Miri Well number 1, telaga minyak nombor 1, telaga minyak cari gali komersial petroleum nombor 1 tahun 1910. Diusahakan oleh golongan penjajah lah tentunya. Tetapi minyak ataupun bahan minyak ditemui oleh penduduk di kawasan Baram lewat kurun ke-19. Mereka menggunakannya untuk tampal kebocoran di perahu ataupun sebagai bahan api. Soalnya 108 tahun kemudian selepas telaga minyak nombor 1 ini, di mana letaknya penyertaan Bumiputera dalam kemakmuran industri minyak dan gas dalam rantaian bekalan sektor ini, terutamanya bagi industri kecil sederhana dan Bumiputera. Teruskan menyaksikan sukses di Miri. Saya berbangga kerana hari ini saya bertemu dengan Haji Rosdin. Haji Rosdin dulu bekerja dengan Syarikat Gergasi Minyak, kemudian keluar menjadi seorang usahawan dan kini membantu sebuah syarikat SME minyak dan gas berasal dari Miri. Syarikat didirikan di Miri untuk berada dalam rantaian bekalan. Dan dalam konteks itu saya nak biarkan Haji Rosdin sendiri ceritakan tentang RopeTech Group ni. Haji Rosdin adalah pengarah urusannya. Masalahnya ialah kadang-kadang kita boleh nampak yang besar, tapi orang lain ni dapat apa? Masyarakat tempatan dapat apa? Jadi kami suka untuk turun ke sini melihat pada RopeTech kerana RopeTech akan membuka ruang supaya orang lain juga dapat berkongsi kemakmuran minyak dan gas ni. Haji ceritakanlah saja pada kamera itu apa sebenarnya RopeTech Group ni dan apa yang Haji buat.
RopeTech Syarikat Berhad was established way back in 2004. Yeah. It basically is an oil and gas Berbekalkan company, and our forte, major scope is doing blasting and venting, but we specialize in hydroblasting, ultra high pressure water jetting, and abseiling. So the uniqueness about this methodology is that we are not doing what the other guys are doing. Yeah, it's a very niche kind of technology, and the advantage of doing so is, one, we are not using any media when we do the blasting, so it's just plain water that we use, very environmental friendly.
No chemical or nothing.
No chemical, no nothing. And secondly, if you need to access to heights, we are not using scaffolding. So the advantage of not using scaffolding and we're using rope access or the so-called abseiling methodology is that we don't need that much deck space to bring out to offshore when you do maintenance venting.
Haji, mungkin ramai di antara kami ni tak pernah pergi pelantar minyak. Jadi berapa tinggi itu? Kalau kita lihat pelantar tu dia ada lautan, yang tiang-tiang lepas ada pelantar kan.
Yes.
So yang kena cuci, that has to be blasted, everything is sometime below. So how high is that?
It's basically the whole structure that you need to blast.
Sampai atas.
Sampai atas semua. Okay? Now the structure, the shortest one with the jacket leg and say drilling platform and a drilling platform, you're talking about 3-4 story kind of building height.
With the wind blowing like this, or even suffer wave behind.
And then the height can like triple that typical small structure when it comes to compression platform or an living quarters platform.
Satu adalah kemahiran menggunakan tali, abseiling and roping.
Yes.
Satu lagi macam hydroblasting dan sebagainya. How do you get normal people who are fresh to come into this line? Because it's like multitasking to an extent, that specialization that you have.
When somebody wants to work in the oil industry, you have to have an entry point. Yeah. So normally they will go to all the kursus, all the courses to suit the kind of trade that you want, or the job that you want. So it's companies like us like even myself, we like to create that opportunity for these so-called greenhorns who doesn't have the experience.
Okay.
So what we do is either they go out to the courses on their own, or we sponsor the courses for them. Then we will pair them up with the experienced people. Alright. So that's the way on how I can create that opportunity for them, and also at the end of the day, because this kind of trade is very limited in terms of the number of people,
Correct.
and I hope to create masses out of them. Yeah?
How many locals, roughly, that your company, Ropotech, has managed to give job opportunities for the locals around here?
The past 3 to 5 years, I would say we are averaging about 120 to 150 people who is under our employment.
Okay. So you will give training, definitely.
We give training, yes.
And I know your motto is to pay people on time. So, and minyak dan gas ni dia lumayan berbanding banyak sektor lain. So can you give a rough figure of what a greenhorn coming into your company, going to, you know,
To the
do what
platform.
they do at the platforms? How much is roughly we're talking about here in terms of their pay?
It's okay. The greenhorn normally what we'll give about 120 ringgit a day.
A day?
Yes.
So they spend like how many days a month on the rig?
28 days.
28.
Yes.
So that's definitely not minimum wage. That's quite okay for a greenhorn. I mean, on
Yes.
average.
Yes.
Okay. See, dengan IKS yang bagus macam ni, dalam rantaian nilai yang bagus, masalah seperti B40 dan sebagainya dapat dikurangkan kerana ada peluang ekonomi dan peluang pendapatan tinggi. But that's not just the issue I want to talk about. I also want to know about you, because SMEs are very individual and family driven, or a group of people, small group of people driven. And you were not in the original founding members of Ropotech. You were sent by Petronas, go overseas because you're a clever student, studied mechanical engineering in the US, came back, you know, went up through the ranks, was entrusted by Petronas to look at Mauritania's operation and everything like that. You have hundreds of engineers underneath your care at one time, but you decided to take the plunge, leave that cushy, comfortable executive of oil and gas industry position, and risk it as an entrepreneur. If you can share with us that story.
Basically, what makes me do what I am doing now, to live that, like what you said, cushy life, to this, I would say, a challenging, totally different kind of environment, from being a Westerner. It's all what you want. Yeah. In my case, from small, when my parents brought us up, it's always instilled inside me the art of doing business. Yeah, like when my parents had that sundry shop. So it's always a push by the parents to develop us to do business.
Haji, after this, lepas ni kita nak cerita pula tentang halangan, kerana usahawan mesti banyak halangan. Nak sign, nak tanda tangan surat perhalangan, tambah pula dah jadi usahawan sepenuhnya bukan mudah, tetapi ini adalah contoh kejayaan usahawan industri kecil sederhana dalam rantaian bekalan minyak dan gas di Malaysia, di Miri, Sarawak, dan Ropotech akan masih bersama kita, masih bersama Haji selepas ini, hanya di Sukses. Anda masih menyaksikan Sukses dan saya masih berada di Miri. Miri adalah denyut nadi Sarawak dan juga Malaysia untuk minyak dan gas. Ada berpuluh kalau tidak pun lebih 100 offshore platform. Nanti saya tanya dengan kawan baru saja, saudara Haji Rosdin, memang usahawan hebat, anak jati Miri yang kembali daripada selesa bekerja dalam syarikat besar untuk menjadi seorang usahawan dan membantu syarikat buatan Miri menjadi syarikat yang mungkin tak sebesar Gergasi, tetapi mempunyai kepakaran yang spesifik, specialization dalam rantaian oil and gas ini, minyak dan gas. Tadi kita dah berbicara dekat Grab already, tapi Haji Rosdin, saya nak minta Haji ceritakan tentang zaman susah. Selalu orang cakap sisa usahawan ni nak tahu cerita berjaya. Tapi untuk berjaya tu perlu lalu pelbagai kesusahan. Kalau boleh Haji petik satu untuk dikongsikan bersama dengan penonton program Sukses ni.
The difficult times that I've experienced in the business world is my first year of taking over this company. We were short of cash. There's bills to be paid, and the projects were not coming. I envisaged that the contracts are coming, but when we sign the contracts, the work cannot start immediately.
Okay.
It takes quite a few months for us to get everything ready in order before we can mobilize to start the work. But out of the kesusahan, you learn. Yeah? Being an engineering background guy, and when you work with, when I was working in Pengasas, the financial part of things, you always leave it to somebody else. Yeah. So when I was starting off this company, that kind of predicament that I was in, you get to learn, you get to talk to the banks. So there start my interest in the financial world of running a company. And who is there to help me out? Nothing more than SME Bank.
Okay.
Yeah? So they were one of the few banks that were talking to us and
Because they
getting facilities from them.
Because they are DFI, Development Financial Institution,
Yes.
not a pure commercial bank.
Yes.
So there's that. So, tapi saya juga nak tengok kecairan tunai itu penting. Itu yang kerap sekali industri kita jana orang service menghadapi masalah. Tapi dengan bantuan SME bank dan sebagainya, cuma dalam bidang minyak dan gas ni, kualiti tahap perkhidmatan itu mesti pada tahap tertinggi. Kerana rantaian bertalan itu memerlukan kecepatan, keselamatan dan sebagainya. Bagaimana bila berhadapan when you are faced with cash flow difficulty, how do you ensure that performance is not affected? Your people are not affected because your client, terutamanya kalau itu adalah Petronas, mereka hanya mahu tahu kerja itu dilaksanakan dengan tahap yang paling maksimal.
Now, I go back to my favorite logo for the business. Safety is our business, quality our way. Yeah? Okay. Now, how do you instill that culture in the local people that's working for you? Because at the end of the day, if they don't have a good frame of mind, they will not produce. They will not work safely, thinking of the problems they have onshore, and at the same time also will not provide the kind of quality that you expect to get out from the projects that you're going to deliver to the client. Simple. Pay this guy on time.
Okay.
Yeah. Make sure their bank account is filled with what they're what they're supposed to earn. Yeah. So that this will automatically take care of their family. Yeah. And the family basically will not catch up with them when they're working offshore. Because you must understand, these guys work about 28 days offshore. So you have to free them of this problem. And most of the time, the money part will do. You can create that kind of freedom.
Haji, you are, an exemplary anak Sarawak from Miri. Many people, if they are not in oil and gas, they will look at Miri as an oil city. But what do the locals get? Sometimes some people have got that feeling. Tapi Haji membuktikan bahawa tidak ada anak tempatan yang belum berjaya. Cuma mungkin kita nak bagi tips sikit lah kepada mungkin fresh graduate yang baru nak keluar universiti, aktif kat sekolah, nak belajar, nak masuk, nak jadi macam Haji nak masuk RopeTech untuk belajar ilmu. How do you get past Haji Rosdin as an interviewer? What do you look out for? What's the tip? Maknanya kalau ada orang yang nak datang interview atau bekerja di RopeTech, what should they do to get into your good books as an interviewer?
Simple saja, tak banyak songeh.
How do you measure? Macam mana nak sukat tu?
Okay, I always like to bang on the fresh graduates, because I love developing people. And also the transfer of knowledge as well. Okay? I mean, if you want to leave a legacy, it's one of the best. To basically transfer what you know and teach these people. We have a program, which also corresponds with this national program of hiring fresh graduates while the economy is still slow. So that's the time when I see the attitude of these people. It's not about having good marks that are higher, getting good grades, or it's about how you interact with the other people in the office during that short tenure when we engage you, and basically portraying the right kind of attitude, so that it will impress. I will have that will make a good impression on yourself.
Inilah pejabat RopeTech dan ini adalah bilik bos, bilik Haji Rosdin. Tapi saya nak curi dengan baik ilmu lagi untuk kita semua program sukses ini, kerana masa depan bagaimana. Saya juga nak tahu sekarang industri minyak dan gas ni bagaimana. Ada pandangan seorang usahawan yang berada dalam rantai bekalan itu, bukan juru analis dan sebagainya, tetapi usahawan AKS yang berada dalam minyak dan gas, dan ke mana masa depannya. Kerana ada yang berpandangan semuanya kitaran, dan kitaran susah ni kita dah cukup dah. Mungkin tahun lepas tu sedang menjuram naik pula, bukan menjuram turun tapi melonjak naik. Itu yang saya nak bincangkan selepas ini. Saya masih berada di Miri dan saya masih berada di ibu pejabat RopeTech. RopeTech adalah satu syarikat yang dalam sebagai vendor ataupun dalam rantaian bekalan minyak dan gas ini, terutamanya di Miri, tapi mempunyai khidmat di seluruh Malaysia dan juga pernah berada di beberapa negara luar, dan saya rasa akan terus berada untuk masa depan lebih hebat lagi. Cuma saya nak balik kepada Haji Rosdin, dan sekarang ni industri ni, kerana orang masih bercakap sama ada ekonomi Malaysia, ekonomi dunia okey tak okey atau bagus tak bagus, whether it's good, whether it's the U-shape recovery. Tapi saya lebih suka dengan pandangan orang berniaga, orang usahawan yang ada dalam industri, kerana pandangannya lebih dalam. If you can share that with the, where do you think the oil and gas industry is right now? Di mana?
My personal view, I think is basically bottoms up.
Bottom out already.
Bottom out already. Okay. Because it's the process that you have to go through when it comes to the upstream sector of the oil and gas industry. You can't do away with basically reinvestment and maintaining the facilities after being quiet for like 3 or 4 years. It's like a 4-5 year cycle. Yeah, you basically have to spend money in order to prolong the life of the field, and as well to maintain the integrity of the platform. Okay. Yeah. So we bottom up already. So it looks like the operators now have no choice, but I would say next year the activities are going heavy. It will be heavy, and it's already shown in the number of tenders that's coming out and the contract being awarded by the operating companies.
RopeTech tidak tersenarai di bursa Malaysia. It's not a public listed company. Dan kita tahu di Sarawak ada syarikat gergasi yang hadir sama ada tempatan ataupun dari luar. Kita ada Dayang, Petra dan sebagainya. Where did you see RopeTech fighting for that space? Kerana ini semua gergasi. RopeTech is started 9 years ago. It's not listed. So there will be limited resources relatively to those giants. So how do you still keep on progressing and winning? There must be a formula.
Let me answer that question in 2 parts. First of all, I need to ask myself, am I interested to be listed or not?
Okay.
I'm not. Okay. Not with RopeTech, but maybe with another entity of mine. Okay. Now, the second thing, if I'm interested in that listing, how am I going to grow? Let me relay the experience that I'm having now.
Sure.
The last 8 years, we've been growing very steady. And now I'm coming to a point whereby I'm hitting something like my topmost peak, and I can't seem to break that kind of revenue figure that I'm experiencing for the last 3 years.
And that's still quite a high revenue figure. Macam
For a
100
downturn
juta
time, no, it's only about 30 million.
Okay.
But the whole group is earning more than 100 million.
I see, okay.
If I link it to the listed part, whereby I'm not really that keen, yeah, and I tell you why I'm not keen. So the only thing that I can make sure it grow is to collaborate with somebody. Okay. That's why, in fact, now I'm talking to some public research company, yeah, and looking at ways of collaborating and trying to see how we can work together for Ropotech to grow bigger.
Saya tak nak hanya cakap tentang juta-juta, kerana dalam program sukses dan dalam masyarakat kita, keusahawanan bukan hanya tentang wang ringgit. Ia juga tentang perjalanan individu, keluarga dan komuniti. I would like to ask you this question about, okay, that's the business leader, but you're not just a business leader. You're a father, you're a husband, you know, and you are you volunteer your time and effort with the Chamber of Commerce. Jadi, bagaimana apa lagi yang nak dilakukan? Bukan saja dalam bentuk bisnes, tapi you know, do you want to see Sarawak becoming the hub of entrepreneurship, oil and gas excellence? Apa juga? What's your dream apart from that business dream? What would be success for you on that front?
Building up the community, leaving a legacy behind.
Okay.
Yeah, doing charity works like with the malls. Yeah, I mean that's going to be a small portion, but I mean if I can be that father figure, yeah, to the business community for the young entrepreneurs in Miri, I mean that would be one of my peak. I mean the legacy that I'll
Do you think Miri and Sarawak can do more? There's so much potential.
Yes, the people is there. I mean the track record is there as well. It's only the opportunity whether the doors are open to them or not.
It always amazes me that you have suffered, you shared just now, you know, contracts are signed but jobs are not moving yet, and cash flow. Okay. But you have also gone through a personal tragic event, you know, health scare, a very serious one. How do you even get past that? Because many people might just call it quits right there and then. I don't want to think about all this business stuff, I just want to focus on my life and you know. But you took both corporate business and personal challenges to be where you are.
Okay, one strong attitude that I have is being focused. When I had that health condition that I was in, in principle, I just leave everything behind. I told my partners, I told my family, let's focus on getting me cured. For 2-3 months.
Only that?
I hand over Ropotech to somebody else.
Okay.
Don't disturb me. Just let me get through this. And I want to get myself cured. Focus on the surgery that I have to go through and recover. And alhamdulillah, I'm doing quite fine now. After 8 months
of rehabilitation.
Yes.
It's always a pleasure to be here in Sarawak, in Miri especially. Terima kasih banyak kepada anda telah menonton sukses saya di Ropotech di Miri. Ini syarikat yang patut anda teliti kerana saya yakin ia akan menggegarkan industri ini dan juga dunia keusahawanan. Semoga anda terus sukses. Terima kasih kepada SME Bank. Kita harapkan yang terbaik untuk Haji dan rakan-rakan di Ropotech. Dan ini adalah contoh bahawa IKS juga memberikan sumbangan yang amat bernilai pada negara. Jumpa lagi.